Welcome back to Takeout. Same conversation corner, different chair. One of the most important things I can do on the show is not summarize the reporting of a reporter, but just ask the reporter what the reporter has learned. We're going to do that right now. Washington Post reporter David Nakamura, who I've known for many years, has done some excellent work looking at federal immigration officers using their firearms since July, 16 instances. David, what have you learned?
Yeah, Major, great to see you. So what we found, we started looking into this after, of course, the shooting of Renee Good in Minneapolis. And what we found was there's been 16 incidents since July in which DHS officers from different DHS agencies have fired shots during enforcement stops, basically traffic stops, for enforcement reasons on immigration, or at protesters, as we saw, of course, with the cases of Renee Good and Alex Preddy in Minneapolis. And in all 16 incidents, we were interested in how did the administration respond? Because as we saw in the Minneapolis cases, they did not wait for any kind of investigation, federal or otherwise, to be completed before they had basically defended the officers and how they acted in their shooting, and essentially faulted the people who were shot for being the aggressors. And we found basically in our look at these 16 incidents that the administration did that in each one. They basically came out and said the officer had fired defensively, that they had acted within the law and within training. None have faced any kind of legal charges or even internal discipline that has been at least announced. And we did ask DHS this. On the flip side, the administration through the DOJ has brought charges in 10 of the cases against the people who were fired at. And they're basically saying, look, these people are trying to hit officers with their cars or otherwise attempt to harm them. Alex Preddy's case, of course, they said he had a gun on him. But as we know, he did not reach for it. And so, there are a lot of questions. It may well be that in some cases that is accurate and the officers truly feared for their lives. But we just don't know because the investigations have not been completed in most of these instances. And which we can talk about, there are a number of cases that have been thrown out of federal court or dropped by prosecutors.
Because the underlying evidence did not match either the assertions made in press releases or the documents where charges were found.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, there was a case, the most prominent one probably was a case in Chicago. There was a shooting in September in which an immigrant was killed in his car. There was another case, however, where a U.S. citizen a couple of weeks later in Chicago, one of the cities where, like Minneapolis, the administration had surged immigration officers, where a U.S. citizen was shot. She was shot 5 times in her car. She survived. Her name was Marimar Martinez. She essentially was charged with attempting to ram the officers' cars and box them in and put them in danger. But a video has come out, and 60 Minutes covered it. That video has come out to sort of conflict with what the administration has said, what DOJ has said, and as did other testimony and evidence that the officers had bragged about the shooting. Essentially, the judge said, we're throwing out the case, after the prosecutors saw the writing on the wall and pulled the charges. So that was one incident. There was another of U.S. citizen Philip Brown in Washington, D.C., also charged after he was shot at. He was not hit, luckily, but his case also was dropped. And he has 2 civil rights attorneys who are seeking civil action now and saying they would like to see evidence because they would like to go to court to file civil charges and potentially get monetary damages or policy changes. And so that's the question: is the administration continues to really rush to judgment here. And I think that there are a lot of folks in some of these states. You talked to the Minneapolis state secretary there, but I know the attorney general in Minneapolis and other places are trying to do their own investigations.
David Nakamura, Washington Post. Very important reporting. I appreciate the time, sir. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Major.